Can you make your hair grow faster? Can you grow more hair? Let's talk about it. I'm Dr. Sam Ellis, and I'm a board-certified dermatologist in Northern California. I'm here to help you understand your skin and hair and nails and find products that work for you. So if that sounds good, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just to give you a little bit of baseline hair growth knowledge, you are born with all of the hair follicles you will ever have. And on your scalp, that ranges from about 80,000 to 120,000 hair follicles from which you can grow hair. All of the hair on your body and on your scalp originates from a hair follicle that starts below the surface of the skin. You can think of it like there's a little hole in the sky that your hair is looking up towards, and it starts in the root or in the follicle, and it starts growing upwards towards the surface of your skin. It exits the hair follicle, and that's when you can see it above the skin surface. Your hair follicle is also connected to an oil gland, so as your hair is exiting the scalp, it passes by that oil gland and gets coated in sebum. That's what keeps your hair looking shiny and healthy and helps protect your hair. That hair follicle is also surrounded by a very dense vascular network, so tons of little blood vessels that supply that follicle with the oxygen and the growth factors that it needs to thrive. On average, scalp hair grows about ½ an inch every month, but that's going to vary from person to person, and it is normal to lose between 100 and 200 hairs every day. And when your hair is growing, it exists in one of 3 primary phases. It can be in the anagen phase, also known as the growth phase, and that's what most of your hair is doing at any one time. It can also be in a transition phase called the catagen phase, in which it is transitioning from a growth phase to a rest phase. And then there's something called the telogen phase, and that is where your hair is resting for about 3 months before it sheds. Something interesting that you may have noticed looking around at your friends and your family members is that people are able to grow their hair to various lengths. For example, there are some people that can grow their hair all the way down to their knees, and there are some people that cannot get their hair to grow past their mid-back. And that's mainly because people's anagen phase, so their growth phase of their hair, can vary in how long it is. If you're someone who has a relatively short anagen phase, let's say it's 3 years, that means your hair is going to continuously grow for about 3 years, and then it's going to shift into the rest phase before it sheds. Now, if you're someone who has a long anagen phase, something like 10 or 12 years, which is not that common but does exist, that means your hair on your head is going to grow for 10 or 12 years before it decides to shed. And you can imagine your hair can get a lot longer if it's able to grow for 10 years before it sheds, compared to if it gets cut off at the 3-year mark. And then the other thing that's going to determine how long you are able to grow your hair is the actual health of your hair. If your hair is really damaged, if it's breaking off at the ends, etc., it's going to be a struggle to get it to grow long and healthy. While there's no evidence for something you can do to consistently get your hair to grow faster, there are certainly steps you can take to get your hair to grow the most optimally and to keep the hair that you are growing as healthy as possible. Step 1, you have to get your nutrition right. One thing I can tell you about hair growth and the scalp in general is that it is exquisitely sensitive to whatever is going on internally. If you're super stressed, you're not going to grow hair well, but also if you are malnourished or undernourished or missing certain important ingredients or nutrients in your day-to-day diet, your hair is not going to grow its best. Eating a balanced diet that is rich in vitamins and minerals, especially ones like biotin, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, as well as iron, are going to help you grow healthier hair. It's also really important that you are getting enough protein in your diet and enough calories in general. Hair is not a vital organ. When your body needs to fuel itself and focus in because you are in a nutrient deficiency of some kind, it's not really going to pay attention to the hair. It's going to keep your vital organs functioning first, and that will take a toll on your hair. And the best way to get these vitamins and nutrients is through a well-rounded diet, but supplements can play a role here too. I don't think you should go out there and just buy any old hair growth supplement, but if you are going to go the supplement route, pick a supplement that has been vetted and has gone through clinical trials. The 2 hair growth supplements that I recommend the most in my practice are Nutrafol and Viviscal. To my knowledge, these 2 supplements have not been compared head to head, but they both have clinical trials showing successful hair growth when taking them for 6 months or more. Aside from having the nutritional aspect in check when you are trying to grow your hair optimally, it's also really important to pay attention to your scalp health. If you have a chronically itchy, flaky, red, or dirty scalp, that is not an optimal environment to grow your hair. I like to think of the scalp as the soil in your garden. The better that soil is, the better your garden or your hair is going to grow. So keeping your scalp clean and moisturized is really important. And if you suffer from an inflammatory scalp condition like psoriasis or seborrheic dermatitis, it's also really important to be on the appropriate medications to keep that inflammation in check. Now, if you don't have an inflammatory scalp condition, but you struggle from time to time with flaking on your scalp or just excess product buildup, I have a favorite product for you. I am obsessed with the Briogeo Scalp Revival Detox Spray. This is a pre-wash treatment, so you're going to use it on your scalp before you go into the shower and shampoo and condition your hair. And the whole point of using this pre-wash spray on your scalp is to help remove that excess buildup, grime, debris, dead skin cells, etc. I find this one works so well because it has a beautiful blend of alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, and polyhydroxy acids. It's got lactic acid, salicylic acid, and gluconolactone. And these acids all work in slightly different ways to help break apart those dead skin cells and that sticky sebum that gets released from our scalp so that we can actually clean our scalp once we get in the shower. Ideally, you're going to apply this 15 minutes or more before you get in the shower so it has the greatest opportunity to work. If I'm planning to wash my hair, that actually typically means that I'm also going to be doing a sweaty workout that day because it really has to feel worth it to wash my hair. And the way I will use this is I will part my hair in several sections. I will spray it onto my scalp before I work out, massage it in, do my workout, so it's kind of working during my workout, and then I'll take a shower. To me, that is the most efficient way I can use it because I find if I'm already at the point where I'm about to take a shower, I don't really want to stop and pause and wait 15 minutes to use this product. I actually keep this product next to my Peloton, and I'm sure my husband thinks it's really weird, but it's really to remind me to use it before I exercise. Now, the products that you use inside your shower can also help with your scalp health. If you struggle with your scalp at all, or if you struggle with the fact that you wash your hair and it doesn't really feel clean, then I strongly recommend bringing a clarifying shampoo into your routine. And the point of using a clarifying shampoo is that it really helps wash and almost scrub the hair clean and remove any excess buildup that's on the scalp or on the base of the hair. Also, for people who use a lot of dry shampoo or other styling products, it can be a really nice way to help remove that buildup. And that's not only going to help clean your hair, but it's going to help prepare your hair for any conditioning elements that you use on it afterward. I'm actually still in the process of trying a lot of different clarifying shampoos because I only wash my hair a couple times a week, so I basically use a clarifying shampoo every single time because I have enough buildup on my scalp and hair that it feels worth it. But one of my favorites that I have tried is by K18. I find that their Peptide Prep Detox shampoo strikes a really nice balance of making my scalp and hair feel really clean but not dried out. And I will often use this K18 clarifying shampoo in conjunction with that Briogeo Detox spray. And I do that about once a week where I'm gonna do the spray first, let it sit at least 15 minutes, and then go into the shower and use my clarifying shampoo. That combination keeps my scalp feeling good and keeps my dandruff and flaking at bay. So you've got your nutrition right, you've got your scalp health in check. The next step in growing your hair optimally is actually treating the strands of your hair well. Ideally, we're going to be avoiding excess heat styling, so in a perfect world, you're not using something like a curling iron or a blow dryer on your hair every single day. But if that is part of your hair maintenance routine, then you should be using a heat protectant, and I'll talk about that in a second. If you don't maintain the health of your hair as it grows away from your scalp, you're going to be more prone to the hair creating split ends or breaking off. That not only limits how long your hair is actually able to grow, but how full and healthy your hair looks. Aside from limiting heat styling, something else you want to make sure you're doing is using a conditioner every single time you shampoo or wash your hair. I feel like lately it's been a bit of a trend to demonize conditioner or say that they're weighing your hair down, but in reality, you need conditioner to coat your hair and to keep it supple and soft. If you don't condition your hair regularly, it's not only going to look dull, but it's also going to feel rough to the touch and be more prone to breakage. It's honestly hard to pick a favorite conditioner because I've used so many great ones over the years, but the Oribe Gold Lust conditioner will always have my heart. And I'm also a huge fan of the Virtue Restorative restorative treatment mask. I do want to give a shout out to bond repair products, so leave-in products that help you restore the bonds within your hair. They're certainly having a moment right now, and lots of brands are coming out with their own version of bond repair, but one of my all-time favorites, and nothing has really surpassed this yet, is by K18. Their leave-in molecular repair mask is so good, and when I use that consistently, I truly see a difference in my hair. And it's actually quite easy for me to tell if something is working or not working for my hair. My hair is long, it is bleached, I heat style it all the time, so if it is not looking good or if it is looking good, it's pretty obvious. And because of the nature of my job, I am constantly trying new hair care products, and when I use something that I don't like, I always go back to my K18 bond repair to reset things. Also, you will not catch me styling my hair without first protecting it with a heat protectant product. One of my holy grail heat protectant products is the Unite 7-second detangler, because this not only acts as a heat protectant, but it also is a UV radiation protectant, and it acts as kind of like a leave-in conditioner, so it's perfect if you have long or easily tangled hair. As an aside, it's also what I use in my son's hair. He absolutely does not let me put conditioner in his hair in the bath, but for some reason very much tolerates that spray. Compared to some of the other heat protectant products that I've used in the past, I really like this one because it doesn't weigh my hair down at all. And again, I have finer hair and I don't want to be putting anything in my hair that's going to make it look more weighed down or more heavy. Also, if my patients are struggling with split ends or the ability to grow their hair out, or their hair is showing signs of a lot of damage, I always recommend using some type of hair oil regularly. And hair oil really shouldn't be applied to the entire strand of the hair. I'm typically using mine from about my earlobes downward. Everything above there usually gets coated from the natural sebum that's released from my scalp, but this hair is more damaged, it's been out there and in the environment for longer, and it just needs more help. Hair oil is not something I typically put in my hair the day that I wash it, but for every day thereafter, before I wash it again, I will put hair oil in to keep my strands feeling soft, because what a lot of people with long hair will struggle with is having oily roots and really dry ends, and hair oil can help combat that. Hands down, my favorite hair oil is the Virtue Healing Oil. I have tried so many other hair oils, and the reason I like this one so much is that it feels incredibly lightweight on my hair. I think one of the most annoying things is when you go to put hair oil in and your hair's looking pretty good and you're just trying to refresh it, and then your hair comes out looking greasier and worse than it did before. And I have never had that issue with the Virtue Healing Oil. Another thing I recommend doing to help your hair grow optimally is to get frequent hair trims. Now, this is not going to make your hair grow faster because you're trimming it off. That's a complete myth. But if you freshen up the ends, they are less likely to create split ends and break off prematurely. Now that you know how to take care of your scalp and your hair, let's talk about treatments to get your hair to grow better. I treat a lot of hair loss and hair thinning in my clinic, so I'm aware that there are certain medications that can help you grow your hair better. Now, if you're suffering from hair loss specifically, I have some videos on this platform that I'll link for you in the description box that go into more detail. But there are medications like minoxidil, also known as Rogaine, that can help with hair growth. You can also use something called finasteride, also called Propecia. This is a prescription oral medication that we typically give to men to help them grow their hair, but it can also be used in postmenopausal women. The oral medication spironolactone, which I will often prescribe for adult female acne, can also help you grow your hair more optimally, especially if you're suffering from a condition where you have androgen excess like polycystic ovarian syndrome. There's also a topical medication called latanoprost. It's a prostaglandin analog, and it's what you would find in something like Latisse or other lash growth serums. And when applied topically to the scalp, it can help you grow hair there as well. Now, things like minoxidil can be purchased over the counter, but there are also compounding pharmacies that will put things like topical finasteride, topical spironolactone, topical minoxidil, and topical latanoprost together in a compound for you to use on your scalp, and that's worth having a discussion with your dermatologist about. And that might sound a little bit intense, but the reality is with hair growth, there are so many different facets that affect it that the more things that you are doing to promote good hair growth, the better your results will be. There are also some small studies that show that microneedling, when performed on the scalp, can help you grow more hair. And this can be combined with or done separately from something called platelet-rich plasma injections. Platelet-rich plasma, also known as PRP, is something that we obtain from you, and we inject it back into your own scalp. So we draw your blood, we centrifuge it, so we spin it around, and we separate out something called the platelet-rich plasma. And that has a whole bunch of different growth factors that help generate new hair growth. And then we inject it back into the scalp Or if we are microneedling, we will also apply it topically to the scalp to be absorbed through those microneedling channels. Lastly, if someone is trying to do the most when it comes to stimulating hair growth, I do recommend using low-level laser therapy. Low-level laser therapy, also called LLLT for short, uses a process called photobiomodulation to stimulate hair growth. Essentially, you are exposing the scalp to lasers that are within the red or near infrared wavelength, and those wavelengths penetrating the scalp skin and going towards the hair follicle can help generate new hair growth. If you search the internet, you'll see a wide range of low-level laser therapy caps available. Some of the ones that I recommend in my practice are iRestore, Theradome, or Capilis. These are ones that are FDA cleared and have undergone some type of clinical testing to show their efficacy. The one I personally have is the iRestore Pro, and I found it incredibly helpful for regrowing my hair after my pregnancy, and I continue to use it a few times a week to maintain that growth. If you've used something to help grow your hair faster or better, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm so curious about your experience. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.